1745, streaming live from my secret mountain base. Yes, I am actually. That I'm currently building more than is built. But yes, I am up there. Now I'm going to get sort of set here, and then we will be making some episodes. I know I'm starting late. That's because, again, I'm in my secret mountain base. All right. User using that. Let's look over here. Partially right now, I'm in my gamer remote computer, checking the status of recordings to see that everything is going well. And it does seem to be. And hello, John. Hello, Toyjet. Hello, Sing. It's been a while. And also Toyjet over on YouTube. Very good. And Shiny God is here. Well, good. Well, yeah, the evil genius lifestyle. Don't know that I'm evil. Maybe just a genius. Don't know that I'm planning on destroying humanity. Maybe I'm going to save humanity. Well, it's been exciting. I don't know if exciting is the right term, but yeah, we can start an episode here that'll be a bit of a talking start here. Yeah, let's do this. Hello, everyone. This, of course, is Gamer 1745, coming to you from my secret mountain base that I am currently building. It is not fully set up yet, and I've got a little bit of stories here to tell everyone. And yes, okay. First off, I do plan on releasing these as episodes and not just the live stream here. I'll get to some of the questions and comments in just a moment with the live stream. The Black Ice people, if you remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, because we did not stream over Christmas, they updated the main version of Black Ice with no notice. So I was not able to preserve my previous game, my previous playthrough. That's a bit aggravating. Where before they had given me plenty of notice. I mean, not just me, but everybody, on their Discord server. You should check their Discord server out. It's good. At least not on any major announcement. Maybe somewhere buried in the forum they mentioned it. But so that screwed that up. Now, one video which I've just, for various reasons, been owing a few people of how to make Black Ice so that won't happen. So, and I'm going to do that when I get back home to my my home by the sea, where I have my primary computer, and I will show how to do that. I did that for the previous version that we were playing, and I just need to. I just don't want to do it right here now with all that's going on my laptop, and record the episode. So I will be doing that to show how you can preserve a particular version of any mod, so that you can play it longer if they're updating it, or even if theoretically the mod is removed from Steam or other things. But Steam is a great way to for people to simply get mods to their games, but it does have drawbacks like that. So I was saying hi to some of the people here in chat before I got started with the episodes. Yes, yes, happy belated Christmas to everybody, and I hope a happy new year. And hello, don't know how is that lol hawk or gamer? I don't know. Hi to you. Right. So like I was saying, I'm currently up in my secret mountain base in very high altitude. I am doing well. Yesterday I was driving and I um, had my saw my first deer here, not first deer in life, but here near my secret mountain base. And I actually had to wait for it to cross the road. The other two or three behind it sort of hung back, so I drove on. And then I saw another deer, and then I saw another few deer, and then later I saw some more deer. So yesterday was lots of deer on the road or standing next to the road. Oh, well, you see, actually, as I'm remembering this, there were three deer out on the perimeter of my secret mountain base. No, I didn't get any photos of them. Um, I was with one of my henchmen, and we were planning the outer defenses, walking around there, and what we should do with them and everything. So, um, we these deer that they were uh, oh 40 feet from us, walk by casually while we were standing there talking. Um, there, that would be um, 12, 13 meters for you Europeans who don't know natural measurements. Um, so yeah, so lots of deer yesterday in the evening. And no, my secret base doesn't have a death ray. Toy Jet, who obviously is evil. But I'm not necessarily the evil genius. No, this is I'm thinking I'm a good guy here, just with a secret mountain base to hide out in. Giant pool with sharks. Now I do plan on sharks with lasers. I mean that's going to definitely be part of um the base. So you go around, yeah. Oh, machine guns. Oh, lots and lots of machine guns are going to be all around it for sure. Rocket launchers, yeah. Well, rocket launchers for to deter. Let's see, small flying birds. Yeah, that's yes, because yes, Sing, I do have a secret base. It is up in the mountains, rather high altitude, at least for me. The guy in the picture reminds me of the cat. Cat. Hello, Munkenstrap. I don't know if that you mean this guy with the funny mustache. Yeah. Um, Maniacally so. And hello, Arno. Good to have you here, my friend. So, yes, all caught up. Birds aren't real, they're government drones. Well, of course, that's why we need surface to air missiles to shoot the birds down if they get too close. So, yeah, that is. And a few of the videos that I posted recently were also made on the laptop. And I hadn't checked the settings. On the laptop, so they came out at 720p and 1080 instead of 1080p, like they should do. So hopefully I've got the settings reasonably good in the currently now, and I'm gonna when I get back home check to make sure they're as right as they should be optimized. As all. So the world might be going to hell. So having a secret mountain base to retreat to. And we were literally talking with one of my henchmen here um, about sort of defenses for it and building what do we call it? A manufacturing plant here to not a big one, sort of a private, yeah, you might call it a machine shop and wood shop type manufacturing plant here on my base. So no, 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 no. I don't know of any. Well, I don't know of any stolen Russian hydrogen bombs. Maybe you know of where some is like are, well, some are that I can get, or at least one is toy jet. And no drills to the center of the earth. Slide if you're building a base. No reason you can't make. Yeah. Now, a few of my henchmen has. No, we're not holding the earth hostage. That's not the plan. It's not the plan. No nefarious plans. No. Just the opposite. Trying to survive possible catastrophes here is all. Water slide. I hadn't thought of a water slide. Yeah. Well, it's partially designed to keep you out, Toy Jet, because we know you're evil. So, come on. What do you think here? So, it's good to have a friend like Toy Jet on another continent because he's way away from you. So, that kind of thing. Hello, Nick. How you doing? Can you also build nuclear power? No, I'm not Disney. I don't have the rights to build nuclear power plants. Don't have any uranium or plutonium. Yeah. Just it's a mountain hideaway here. Now, there are a few pictures on Discord, but they're in the sort of private friends of gamer chat. So, just going over there doesn't necessarily get you in. I just realized in my playthrough here, where is it? Here, I had forgotten to do this. I played, as you can maybe see, up to 1938. That's, I think, sort of kind of close to where we were. Okay, let's do this. So I should have done that before. I've not done it until right now. Get some more of the armed forces here. Right, okay. Well, I think we'll just leave them at. And yes, it looks like everything is going well. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm acquiring more armaments to defend the base and all of that. So someday maybe videos from inside the base we will see, but probably not right away. Recruiting. Oh, we don't have enough equipment for these units here. Not enough equipment to train. Horse transport is what is missing. And deploy these anyways. Okay, I am back on the game here. I am come to the belief that, and yes, I know they are working on balancing, and yes, I know putting this in. And I've talked before about how much metal you need in horse transport. Yes, I get the industrial, if you will, or scale production of horses very much was a thing. And the wagons definitely use metal on them, but I would say they're primarily wood construction. So, but okay, some metal, fine. I think this factory output level, and you can see we are not 100% efficiency here, but we are pretty good at efficiency for this. I think this should be putting out a lot more horse transports for how much we need for divisions and whatnot. After many Bollywood makes movies, you want to know about it. Yeah. We'll see if Bollywood ever wants to make a movie about me or whatever. Place teller mines around this compound. All right. Yes. Yeah. I hadn't even thought about mines yet. Should add wood, don't you? No, I don't. Should we add cloth to the game? Okay, here's a you know and I know it didn't start with black ice, but they are definitely continuing the problem. We're going to call it that. Here is. We can look here that IC cost here to build a Kuba wagon is 2.3, right? And 112 of resources. 2.5. Now, if you look at this thing here, this, at least to me, looks like it has windows on the side and is more sophisticated body. This thing does have front windshields, yes, but no windows other than that, at least I don't think normally. This should be cheaper than this, okay? Germany had access, and I don't know about the stowers, quite honestly, but Germany had access to some really good, and I know specifically about the Tatra vehicles. They had some access to some really, really good. And hey, the Mercedes-Benz 6-axle staff car. That was a great off-road vehicle that they made like 12 of them or some number, maybe 24 or some number that Mercedes-Benz initially thought they could convince the German army to buy a bunch for their generals. Obviously, like one per general or something. They don't, and that they just build a few. Now, Hitler has one, the King of Spain. They still have that one around. Was given one. One was somewhere out here in Hollywood. Don't know where it is now, but used sort of in the Hogan's Heroes TV show a bit as they rented it to use it for that. So Germany had access to great 4-wheel drive, light vehicles. They downgrade from 4-wheel drive to a 2-wheel drive super lightweight vehicle here, super cheap, super, to manufacture lots of them. So should use less resources. So to reflect this, it should go, like this should be like 1, 1, and 2 for this vehicle, say. This should probably be a 1, 1, 1 and cost down at just 2.0 kind of thing, or maybe even less, I don't know. But it is definitely a simplification of manufacture, a simplification of resource usage, that type of thing. Now, the other thing is getting on to, mention should wood be in the game. Now, wood is a critical resource in World War II. But what kind of wood and where? And that's where you sort of get into problems with a resource called wood. I know, like in Finland, there is lots and lots of small trees. They can grow pretty fast. There's a lot of them. And I don't know why this is. This may be blocked off. No, troops may not enter demilitarized. Okay, don't know what that means. Other than some sort of event thing. There was lots of wood gasifiers, and I got to explain this because new people will be watching. I'll get back to the chat here in a moment. When you burn wood or coal, a gas comes off of it that it in itself is flammable, okay? So the wood burns, your sort of smoke, but gas comes off of it, and you can light that itself on fire. Now, they used to do what they called town gas in the late 19th century, early 20th century, in which in towns or cities, it was gas, it's where the term gaslighting comes from. A lot of things, if you look back at the old Sherlock Holmes, all the streetlights, those were gas lamps, and you would have gas coming into your home. What they would do often would be burning coal and siphoning off this gas and running it through pipes through the city and into people's homes or into the street lights, and then you would light them on. You'd open the valve and light them on fire, and when you're done with them, you would close the valve and they would just go out. And it's that type of gas that would work in an internal combustion engine. And I know some of you have already listened to some of my lectures on this, but it's not as powerful. There's like stories that also in Germany, and Britain, both countries, and I know in other ones in Europe, they would convert vehicles over, because you can take your standard internal combustion engine, convert it over to burn wood. And so, like one of the intercity buses running around Germany, a lot of them were converted over to wood gasifier engines. There's a whole major industries in building them during World War II. And it was described that, like, between two towns somewhere, all the passengers would have to get off, and a good chunk of at least the younger passengers, men and women, would help push the bus, part of a kilometer over sort of a steep part of the road in between two towns, and then everybody get back in and drive on. So it's not, and you can also see some photos of some tanks that were used as training tanks, not used out in the field. Training tanks that were gasifier engines. So wood as a fuel source is very useful in places like Finland, like Germany, have lots of wood. And then there's other parts of the world that wood is not, super plentiful to just convert over. Yeah, and no, it's no problem, John. I like people's comments, and it gives me a way to talk about it. Now, Japan, I own a couple of Arisaka, or what we call Arisaka rifles from World War II. And they have two-piece stock, wooden stocks. It's the full length of the normal stock, but where you normally sort of drops down to, where you grip on it and the, the shoulder part of it, you can see a line on both of the stocks where they've glued two pieces of wood together, because Japan does not have, at least during World War II, access to hardwood that was suitable for making stocks. You can see lots of wood and built-in castles, and their whole cities were built out of wood, but hardwood that was suitable for rifle stocks, they just didn't have. And so all of their rifles are these two pieces of wood glued together, where you look at a German Mauser rifle or like a U.S. Springfield or M1 Garand, those are all going to be single pieces of wood. And that really does make a difference. Now, again, on clothing and cloth, we can see, and I wanted to come over here to research here again to look at the potential problems with black ice here. Let's see here. Okay, so we have field blouse here, and since we have to produce them, IC cost, there's one steel. And okay, if you're also including your helmet, you're including your belt buckles, your well, we have equipment like entrenching tools, and helmets are used in multiple places. I still don't know if uniforms should be any sort of resource, because you could have something without consuming a resource in the game. I don't, infantry equipment here, where because these are now infantry rifles. I don't know if infantry equipment would be garrison equipment. I don't know if that should be something that, like the entrenching shovel. So I don't even know that we should be doing any sort of metal here. But IC cost 24. Let's see what this is. IC cost 27. What? I can only think of one thing, and that's in the U.S. inventory, that is more complicated as the war goes through. So this is entirely wrong. Recovery rate and defense rate and reliability. Okay, reliability I get in the sense of boots wearing out, uniforms tearing. Okay, I get reliability, and that comes into the idea of like boots and uniforms being consumed as you march around. The Germans prior to World War II, you would be issued maybe like once a year a new uniform that you had to keep nice. So what they had was sort of a lightweight cloth, white colored. I think they picked white to make soldiers clean. Spend lots of time cleaning it. White sort of fatigue or out doing work kind of uniform to go get dirty in. The uniform was meant to sort of be get dressed up and look sort of nice. Where these other was a much more consumable. Sometimes some pictures of them, drilling out on the field in these things, or doing, field work out there. They're wearing these white, cheap uniforms to make where this is going on. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with what is called the Eisenhower jacket. That's sort of I think it starts in British service. The Americans make a version of it. It's a jacket that, most jackets, if you look for infantry or officers, go down past where the belt is. And pants in the 1930s and 1940s had a much higher waist or much higher belts. People weren't as fat back then. At least most people weren't. So their waists were sort of higher belted. And most jackets would go down past this. Well, the Eisenhower jacket stops right at that belt. That was all developed, and the Germans were doing different. And they eventually, too, adopt a version of the Eisenhower jacket, was to reduce the amount of cloth being used on the uniform. And if you look at late war boots, you can sort of see here, they're generally like shorter and laced up. Whether they're as good for walking or marching in, just on the roads and in standard conditions, but they're going away from the jack boot, the tall boot that you just slipped on, to a shorter lace-on boot here that we find most on most uniforms, nation's uniforms. So I know that a few times talked with some of the Black Ice people, and I don't know if they want to argue their position, but I would really, really love to hear what they're justifying. I get the idea that, oh, well, hey, there's more defense ratings. Well, okay, recovery rate, I sort of kind of get. Because your uniform matters to soldiers. Because if you look at especially like the World War I German mid to late war, not the uniform that they start with, but the mid to late war uniform is very roomy. It's cut very generously. You can move around in it well. Where if you look at the American soldier's uniform of World War I, is very stiff, very tight. It's hard to move around in comparatively. You fast forward to World War II, probably the most roomy, lumpy looking uniform of World War II is the American. I'm talking of the major nations. I don't know all of the minor ones. Is the American uniform. So I could see the idea of recovery rate by the type of uniforms you have affecting your service. Okay, I can see that. Defense. Well, somebody like China, most soldiers don't have helmets. Yeah, you see photos of the well-equipped Chinese soldiers, because those are the ones they wanted to show off to the rest of the world. So they were the ones that are doing it. Hey, Rhaegar, good to see you. How is Japan in Black Ice? I think doing all right. I haven't played it in the more modern versions of Black Ice, but I think it's doing all right. Meaning it's doing. I'm trying to get to, and with several restarts, it's slowing down. And we can see what they're doing here. Normally, they're doing pretty good in that they're conquering much of what they should historically in China, and not conquering at all. Seeming to be doing okay in conquering a lot of the Pacific Islands. So handling that balance relatively well if that's what you're talking about. And so, yeah. There's lots of pictures of Soviet soldiers, though I don't know. Yeah, you can look at the Stalingrad campaign in which they're, putting soldiers on boats, taking them across the Volga River and going, hey, yeah, every soldier, here's your 5 bullets. And, 1 out of 4 of you, here's your Mosin Nagant rifle. The other 3, follow behind that dude, and when he falls down dead, pick up his rifle. You've got 5 shots. Yay. Yeah, a lot of these guys don't have helmets. Okay. And so with some of these mass conscript armies here, you very well may not have enough helmets. Germany does not have enough uniforms for World War II. They are constantly, every large, not taking them from the soldiers in the field when they're captured or dead, but when they're capturing, whether it's supply depots or just warehouses back in nations, capitals or big cities, all of those uniforms, all of those helmets are confiscated by the German military. You see the SS, sort of late war starts in late 1939 into early 40. You see the SS transitioning from black to gray in all branches. And prior to the war, it's really only the Vergens troops and the sort of the field uniform of the Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler. Only their field uniform are they wearing gray. So they convert. That is history. Template here. That they convert to to gray from black. Well, all those black uniforms are still sitting around. They end up, a lot of them being sent to the Dutch SS units and the Norwegian SS units. They, later in the war, continue to wear black. Lots and lots of the various, captured, whether French or Belgian or Dutch or whatever uniforms, are dyed blue because they can take the sort of the green and dye it blue. And that's sort of the color of the Schutzmannschaft, which there are tens of thousands of these guys. They're sort of, rifle-armed police, internal security guys that, by later in the war, they're being pushed into the front line. But, and then also, again, mentioning that, yes, you see Volkssturm people just in civilian clothes, but some of the Volkssturm are being issued these sort of blue uniforms. And you see all of the various captured helmets are being used by various collaborationist forces. So Germany is not producing even enough uniforms, and part of it is a cloth issue, because we were, this talk started on gotta go sing. You probably may have already left, or Nick Wilson. Yeah, I know it's the same person here. See you later. So, part of it is manufacturing capabilities. Part of it is cloth, and particularly with the uniforms we're talking about are wool. That's still the dominant cloth type, or jackets and pants particularly, let alone winter clothing. So part of it is a resource. Now, now the question comes into, and this, John, and everyone to bring up ideas that they have, and it's not my bad. No, it's just you had a thought and you looked at it. Okay, now here, and this is where I don't think the uniform should be in the game, because our uniforms, and I also say I don't think horse transport should be in the game either, because I don't see those as a point of failure in World War II that make or break winning battles or winning campaigns. Now, I like the idea of in Hearts of Iron 3 that controlling certain regions around the world would give effects. Okay, I sort of like that. And one of them was, at least in Black Ice, and I don't remember if it was in the original game, was controlling certain horse regions that would give effect bonuses to your forces wherever they are. And some of those were sort of, like food and whatnot. I sort of like that, so that if you're a nation that doesn't have a large horse population, or isn't, you're at a bit of a disadvantage. But where I really see the points of failure is like motorization or fuel. Okay, so I don't know. There may be somebody, and yes, there are horse transportations used for strategic supply movement, moving supplies not internally to a division, shall we say. But do we really need to model that as an independent thing? And do we really have a situation where we just can't say, and if these units here, whatever, whether it's a support unit or mainline unit, these units here that are relying upon horse transportation, they just move at a certain rate, and we're just going to presume it. But here, okay, again, we are at and this is good. This is where I do support what they're doing, because we can now model these things. Is okay, 10 trucks for a whole division of approximately, we'll just go, okay, well, here they're doing 18,000 men. I think that's a bit high for a German division, but I'm not sure. 10 trucks and 20 light vehicles. And if you don't have those, well, you're at a slight disadvantage, because, rushing some troops around, or rushing some supplies around, or rushing some officers to look around the different parts of the battlefield, because and what this also well could be doing, these light vehicles could be laying field telephone lines. All of the major armed forces that I know of in World War II are using field telephones as I don't know if it's the primary way, especially with some of the American forces that may be more radio, but still are very much laying field telephone lines around at the divisional and corps levels to keep information flowing. And it's not just command information, like move the battalion here or move the division there. It's, oh, hey, we're running low on anti-tank rounds, and all this or artillery rounds, and we're over, deliver them over, at these coordinates on the map, because that's where we're at. Or we need, we have a battalion over here. Where's, the field kitchen hasn't delivered food in a few days. All these sort of background chatter within the division that the division commander and the division XO and all the people that are planning operation shouldn't be hearing. It should just be all the, stuff that, the grease that keeps the machine working, chatter going on. A lot of that's being done on field telephones between various departments. So yeah, even your non-motorized forces, motorization. Yes, we're coming over here. Here we're looking at a motorized infantry division, 78 heavy transport trucks, 755 standard sort of transport trucks. We've got some Steyr coming in from Austria, 204 light vehicles, and 90 motorcycles. That's also being. Was there motorcycles on this one too? I just don't remember if we got down there. If I looked, no, they're not using motorcycles. Oh, interesting. I would have thought they would have been there. I don't know. But okay, it's a 90 motorcycle. So motorization is, shall we say, a point of failure for World War II. Either your motorized divisions collapse because, like on the quote unquote the Moscow counteroffensive of the winter from 1941 to 1942. The big push there, Zhukov's push. A lot of these vehicles just don't start. They're frozen up. They don't have good antifreeze in them. They just don't start. So the Germans just leave them in place and start marching back. And of course, which I also love here, the new system is this, motorization levels for, supply. This is, sort of Corps and Army group kind of supply. And that is also, point of failure. So not just how fast does a Panzer division move with only half of its transport functional, because you can move with only half of the transport functional because, okay, we're going to tow the artillery pieces that need to be towed. We're going to move the supplies that we need to move. Everybody else can walk, and leave extra supplies that we don't have somewhere, and just take the essentials and retreat, or if just things are broken down and we're moving forward with a smaller force but slower. So you can do that with that. And so that is where I think these resources should be done at. Particularly resources, but also equipment, is at points of failure. Now, if you can come up, not again some battalion or some division somewhere, but if you can show me where in World War II, and maybe a nation like Turkey or Iran just doesn't really fight in it, they may have some sort of problem, but I really don't know of a significant campaign that the lack of, horse transport or something was the point of failure, shall we say. Maybe you can point to, oh, hey, if these 10 Soviet divisions had wagons and horses for their stuff, they would have been able to retreat out intact. But because all of their supplies were all in garrisons and all, they're sort of fortification divisions, shall we say, infantry divisions, but sort of optimized to hold fortifications, and their artillery, they didn't have any, there wasn't a 1-for-1 setup of, horse team wouldn't necessarily have, caissons or whatever, but other sort of transport wagons. But again, we could presume, transport wagon, caissons. Sort of going around myself here, but that the artillery was sort of in-placed artillery, and they didn't have the horses or the whatever wheeled transport to properly retreat them. So they just retreat as a mob of men carrying their rifles and whatever food they can carry on them and whatever few bullets they have with them as they march out. Yeah, and if that's enough, but are those really just infantry divisions? Or should those be garrison divisions? Something like these here. Now, this is just a single regiment, or a single battalion here. But you can make up, at least have garrison equipment, which I'm really iffy on whether that, because not garrisons don't I know that they're showing us here as having searchlights. I don't really know if there's enough garrison equipment, but it's just that they have. Well, this is not. And you could have garrison artillery units that would be cheaper to make. Just they don't move fast because they don't have enough transport. And so you could handle this simply by, because if we can, look here, just simply by changing the stats between, and then the equipment needs between an infantry battalion and a garrison battalion, that type of thing. Okay. Ragar saying, nowadays we are also seeing telephone lines on the battlefield. It is harder to spy on them when it talks through the wire. Absolutely. There are also functionally at scale unjammable. I don't know enough about the modern war in Ukraine as to jamming, but from my training back in the Cold War days, the Soviets were just very much on the idea of jamming by brute force. Their equipment was set up to jam huge amounts of bandwidth with a lot of power to shut everything down. And that shuts down their communications themselves. Now, the Soviets very much, and this is seeing, and I don't know about modern day Russia here, but I do know about the Soviet Union from both what we were expecting and watched training the Warsaw Pact attack into the West, as well as Soviet operations in Afghanistan. There are clear reports that there would be, say, an Afghan ambush of a Soviet convoy from a particular position, and then the Afghanis knew that, oh, hey, we need to move because there's going to be a response in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because they're pinning down a column. There's going to be an airstrike coming in, whether from jets or Hind helicopters or whatever. And so they would switch positions. But even when it would seem, and I met, and I wouldn't say like I was buddies with, but I talked personally to a few Americans and others that had gone deep into Afghanistan, and also heard their lectures and whatnot and read some of their articles, but I did actually talk to them too. That when it should be apparent that there are enemy positions currently being occupied and being firing at the enemy, things like recoilless rifles going off, so back blast and whatnot, they would go in and strike the earlier known position because there was not effective communication set up or whatever to like, oh, hey, now's the helicopters here. I need you to attack Hill 405 instead of 406. No, they would come in the pre-planned attack and executed the attack on Hill 406. And if the Afghanis were still on Hill 406, they might take heavy casualties, because it just got blasted. But they switched positions, and they're now in another, covering position, and the guys that are below in the armored fighting vehicles and trucks shooting up at them, looking for some air support to then, either assault the Afghanis or retreat, under protection of the air cover or something. Well, it just wasn't work. So they're very much a pre-planned army. And if you're a pre-planned army that trains up for it and then only periodically maybe updates or whatnot over landlines, you can just come out and blast jamming out heavily to try to mess up a dynamic army who is relying upon radio communications. That can be a problem. And so if you have a good army that is going to execute the plan well, and the plan is good, and that is going to overwhelm the dynamic army because they can no longer communicate, Yeah, I get that, but yeah, I would still rather try to do a dynamic army. But yeah, I would say you're right about Rhaegar, about harder to listen in on, but I would also say jam as well. Okay, a lot of talking, hopefully interesting, but now let's get going on the clock here. We are insufficient. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh no, that what? Oh, that's because we started. When you start up all of these trades and whatnot, production isn't going. Okay, so we have a bit of extra iron. Oh, why leave that? Well, yeah, okay. Well, let's shut this down and let's come over to here. Okay, we're not getting all that we need. There, and let's reduce this down. Oh, well, now, what the hell? See, this is one thing I don't like. Is I, I don't mind the idea that they've added, the iron and coal now go in to make steel, but I'm I wish this was a little less micromanaging. Okay, let's reduce, and it is sort of important. Well, 50 is too much. Roll 25. That'd be too much reduction, I think. Maybe not. Well, now we're down negative. What the hell is going on here? Okay, now that's it. 2 negative 16. Okay, so we're negative on bauxite here, but we don't need it because we're only doing this, and we're not really able to stop. Okay, now I have been paying. I got up to at one point to using up to 80% or 88% of my available electricity. Now we're down at approximately 82%. We're building a few more electric power plants. We are also no, an all-purpose one. We have been see here. That's chemical here. This we are doing this, which will increase capacity, electrical capacity. There, that is going to increase electrical capacity, and 1940. 3%, or what is not increasing capacity, actually, it's reducing the need by 3%. So it's an effective increase there. So, and then this will also, um, this is chemicals. Okay, this is chemicals over here, chemical industry. Right. So some of these will help with electricity needs, but they've given us more sieve factories, but we do need to watch that with the needs of electrical power. Think we're good enough to maybe build one more military plants. Dive bombing. We can now dive out of the sky and bomb somebody back. Okay, we are in 38, so let's. No, we'll just do the regular speed. Signal companies, good. Okay. So we just got that. I think we need to do truck radios. I don't know that we've done that. Well, let's look up here, 38. That. Oh, I forgot all about the war down here. Yes, we are having fun in Spain. This is where we are pushing. You can support that attack there. And Heinkel's better naval bombers. Okay, this is all we can. I think we will push in early now. That. Hey, Hoffmanator, how you doing, my friend? I am doing well. I'm, as I told at the start of the stream, I'm up in my secret mountain base and that I'm building here, and so I'm coming to you from my remote computer. Okay, expand co-op, military, civilian, industries. Let's come on. Let's get bombing out of the background. All right. Now I have again those somewhat new around here. I have a tendency to focus very heavily on this side of the map, and I'm probably going to come back and do that to get that research slot. But I do want to look around. So I'm not doing enough of these probably that I should be doing. I mean, that would get me and some of these here. Yeah, we'll come back and do General Staff which grants division organization. Yeah, we may come back and do that next after this because I do want that research slot. Here, you know, we will get some more power plants, which will help. More power plants and a synthetic refinery, particularly the research slot that I want to get done early. And now we can, I think we'll do one more SIF factory right now. Let's throw that there. And after that, let's do another military factory down in Vienna. Yes, the holidays were fun for me. I hope for everybody as well. Back to Spain here. Okay, you. Oh, okay, continue to support the attack there. I think it probably stopped and started up again. Yeah. Well, let's push there. Here, I don't think we're going to close this gap, but we're helping out. Okay, chemical industry. Very good. Now, let's look at infantry radios. core HQ radius. Okay, we need to push down. No, we're going to do that first. I always do the computing machines first once it becomes that year. No, I do not want to reduce my food anymore. Okay, Navy stuff. Well, 870, no. There's better things we can spend our time on, our resources on, I think. Let's look over here. Medium caliber guns. Yeah, we'll do that. Small caliber armor person. Okay, well, they've now moved in. Well, we're not getting any support from the Spanish, so we're stopping that attack. Okay, the Spanish are now attacking again up there. So let's join them in their attack. Get a panzer division in to change the situation. And we can produce. All right. Well, I think there are still some good national focuses to continue to get some of these assembly plants done. So I'm going to let those run for a while. We're down to 78 of needed power supply. So I'm going to throw in another military factory. We can do that here. And get back to our sort of horse transport problem and uniform problem. Okay, we're going to do one more there and one more there. I know we don't have it yet, but just the next one coming in. Okay, yeah, start the third year. The 4-year plan. Invest in construction research. What will this do? Okay, we will do that. Okay, gain 1 research slot in Sachin industry or raw materials. Let's move that to the side and let's come over here. Okay, resource, industrial development, engineering. I think they mean these two. Okay. Well, maybe it's some other subdivision. I don't know. We've got we can do industry. We'll do industry. Okay, and now let's, yeah, just this one here. Right. Okay. This one, yeah, this one looks like the best one to start with there. Okay, industrial or resource industrial plan. Very good. Now, like I say, let's come over. Yeah, oh, that looks also. Let's do this now. Approve the general staff. And we now have another one. Well, seeing as we just got this through that, maybe it would have been better. Oh, no, this is the one we're supposed to be doing. Oh, okay, well, this is perfect then, yes. Because we did the manufacturing. Just for some reason started that. Okay, yeah, we'll increase base stability. Let's look where we're currently fighting. Arizona's okay. They're getting. Lubeck question. Okay, Ludwig Beck. We're going to keep Ludwig Beck. Let's send these guys. Well, let's send them way back over here. Let's find another. These tactical. Yeah, let's send these guys down to here. Rebase out. Yeah, see, they're there. Okay, so they're just standing by there. Let them recoup. Now we should hopefully, yeah. All right. Hmm. Okay, we're going to do one more horse transport. We're going to do light artillery, and we're going to do standard trucks. So we get to increase the number of military factories. Let's do it out here in East Prussia. And power plants, very. Radio equipment for support battalions. Okay. Let's do infantry radios. Need lots more radios. Lots more. 11%. Okay. March 39. August 38. So very, very soon to this. Okay, August 31. Okay, so we have good enough time to probably do one more. I mean, we can delay it if we want a bit. Okay, one military factory, 3 tank assembly plants. But that, more fuel gain, which will then allow more. We can do some of these other ones here because this does require that one. Synthetics, synthetic refineries, those are all really good. Civilian, black defense, office, okay, artillery, military, and power plants. I like that, a lot of power plants. Not enough steel? What the hell's up with our steel here? Oh. Okay, well, now we have, well, the Tour de France. Well, where do we want to push? Now we've been pushing here, which has been using up a lot of their forces. I think we will move over to here, to Guadalajara. Elastic defense. Okay, let's do some trade interdiction here. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Going in this fight, maybe we can turn it around. Push towards Madrid. Okay, let's attack there. Or let's support that. This way we're continuing to draw forces away while also pushing towards Madrid. Right. Okay, let's continue though building at least one civilian factory because they have their uses and might have an extra. Yeah, just civ factory. But okay, construction 2 is completed. Very nice. Okay, so we're looking here. Max entrenchment, land fort effectiveness, coastal defense effectiveness, railway construction speeds. That could be very critical. Weekly stability, that's also very useful, but right now we are very stable. So let's do infrastructure works. Okay, we are now on the outskirts of Madrid, holding out, at least for the moment. Spain is thinking about sending us reinforcements. They have. Now let's get reorganized, and I think we're gonna... Okay, Office of Armament and Defense Economy. Very good. That was that one. Now, yeah, let's do that. Okay, well, we've caught up with our sort of planned expansions here. Almost caught up there. We're way behind on horse transport. Light vehicles, slowly. Well, you can see here, yeah, we have the 5 earlier. Tanks, medium tanks, 14. Medium support tanks, 8. So I do want some more modern vehicles here. More modern tanks. Let's do that. Also need more radios and anti-tank rifles. I'm going to stop giving El Salvador and these other guys arms. Don't need to do that. Okay. Mountain guns. Ears. We'll do improved recon. Hello, Greg, the artist, my friend. How are you doing? Been a little while since I heard from you. Yes, Merry Christmas. Certainly, in some other time, that's just over on X, and I did not know that Restream was watching comments from the live stream over on X or Twitter. Very good. I will message you sometime. Also known as Exergen. Greg is a great miniature artist. Wargaming's miniature figures and wargame figures, very good stuff. He had sort of stopped working for a while, and I think he's back to painting again. So that's good. Full liquefaction, very good. Well, let's look. I don't know. We got a lot of these going with the specialty stuff here already. No, you know what I think? Here. Okay, we also want to get some of these. The howitzers. 30 anti-tank upgrades. Okay. Looking around. So, improved tank designs. Yeah, that could be good. Let's speed the research up. Yes, it is becoming. Well, very good that you're back to painting. Yeah, I do like being on Twitter. It's I seen comments after the live stream, but I've not seen them during the live stream because I use a service called Restream, just for those who want to know, that allows me to stream out on. Currently, it's up to 5. I could pay and do more. Up to 5 different services. I'm just right now today only streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Just the other two, Rumble and Kick, are a little harder to set up, and I just didn't take the time this morning to get those properly set up. And so it takes my one stream out and sends it out to the other services. Okay, you guys are massacre. Yeah, you guys are in good enough shape. So let's attack and support the attack. Again, trying to draw forces away from my sort of push around Madrid here. Now brought in some more. And if we can cut off some forces up here, that would be lovely too. 1938 New England hurricane. Oh, you've not seen the live stream before? Okay, well. All right. Okay. More. Okay. I keep checking. Oh, we're down at good. We're only using, well, almost 69% of our power plants, so we have lots more power right now we can take advantage of. We'll max that out for military factories for that province. Mountain for guns. We currently have any production. Let's see. Yes, these are. I'm leaving these in there. We're gonna improve that, I guess. Doing the older seaplanes, it might. Okay. There we go. Be slow, but we need more radios. Let's do 2 more factories. Once we get it. We're good. Right now, Greg, I am up in my secret mountain base that I'm building. It is far from complete, but it is habitable. So I am not at my normal home down by the seaside. Okay, embargo the French protectorate. Embargo the French protectorate in Morocco. Why? Oh, good. We just made that in there. Okay. These guys are still in good shape, so you immediately counterattack down into there to stop that. Good. We've trapped. Okay, 6. What's that? 1 unit. They're coming out. Yeah, 7 units. Don't want to necessarily call them all divisions, but they are cut off. We are holding here. We now have 2 provinces around Madrid that we're holding on to. And, okay, you guys stop for the moment. We're going to let them starve of supplies for a little bit. I think we're just down 1 rubber. That's all right. Yeah, they're counterattacking there. It looks like we'll hold. Yeah, we'll hold against that cavalry division. All right, storage buildings increase. More synthetic refineries, more fuel. Now, I think we can get the Sudeten land. Oh, well, yeah, reclaim that. Yeah, I think that's what we should do now. 37 days. And you support the attack. Now that we have another division there, sort of guard our backs. Okay, I think we'll move up to here to push on those units. Thoma is improving. Almost got offensive doctrine. Okay. We will continue our growth in military factories. And now that we've added a few more radios, let's add a few more anti-tank rifles. Okay, join in the attack there. Yugoslavia claims Bulgaria. Wow. Infantry radios, very good. Truck radios, yeah, I want those. Oh, Afghanistan. We'll leave Afghanistan alone. Probably what most of the world should just do, but unfortunately, Afghanistan won't leave us alone. What's this? Brigadis Internationalis, the Spanish Republic. Because that looks like the Großdeutschland sort of symbol on the helmet there. So those German communists there, probably? I'm guessing. These guys are about ready to collapse. France and Britain announce an alliance, and we haven't even done the Sudetenland yet? What is this treachery? Okay, direct ground support. Well, I don't think we'll push ahead right now, but let's do motor cannon. And small caliber piercing. Improved submarine engine. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so now, oh, they pushed us out of there for some reason very fast. Maybe we were not well organized when we made it there. Okay, we're claiming Sudetenland. Well, we're going to demand its do that, yes. Okay. Romania canceling guarantees all over the place. Very good. Okay, so we got this province. Wow, look at all those military factories there. What is this per row? Okay, that's 10 per row there. So we've gotten 10 military and 2 civ factories with getting this province or state region. State. Okay, 5 civ factories there, and down here, 5 more civ factories. Very good. So we have increased our possession considerably. Much of a military unit. There may be a view to there. And 10 more military factories. Well, we're also going to significantly increase aircraft production here, which is going to run up some of those supplies, but we will handle that in a moment. Yeah, let's do one. Okay. Which is no longer really the resource and trade. Yeah, this is okay. So we need more bauxite, which is coming from Hungary. I think is a good place to get it. Yeah. Lunch. Okay, so we're negative 11. Positive 12, and we need more steel. Let's bring in, oh, we can get in more Swedish iron. Still not, Sweden still isn't producing much steel. Don't know what or why, but we should. Okay, first Vienna Awards. Well, we might wait. Let's come back over here. I can delay all this too long, but there are 2 more civilian factories. We'll do that. Here, okay. Yeah, to do that as well. But I think we will end this episode, not the live stream. The live stream is going to continue, but we're going to end this episode. It has been fun chatting with all of you. So I want to thank you and see you next time for more, yes, more Hearts of Iron. Okay, we're going to continue the live stream. I'm just going to make a save here. Just in case things go really wrong and I want to go back to it, hit the wrong button. All right. Okay, so welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here. And I am enjoying playing Hearts of Iron 4. I still want to update my mod for Hearts of Iron 3 and play a few campaigns with that. But the adding of railroads and some of this other stuff is really making Hearts of Iron 4 much, much better than it was. So I am enjoying this. So, well, hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. I hope you'll smash that like button. It does help. Posting a comment helps as well. And of course, if you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel. Love to see you back more. Okay, we're going to need some more rubber here. You're going to come into here. Now, before I start trading for more rubber, do I just want to... We're going to let this one event go. Okay, synthetic refinery. These are fuel storage, synthetic rubber. Okay, up here. Ooh, we maybe should have done that. Because of that. And that. But that'll be a while. So yeah, let's see about trading for rubber. I think the Netherlands would be a good place to get another 8 rubber from. Are we the only ones attacking? Yeah, looks like it. Okay, improved recon equipment. That is good. I hate that sort of humming motor sound. I think it's coming from the air. But just did that. I think we're going to... And I know I switch. Move to different equipment. Yeah, we'll do that. Now they're helping out. Not very effectively. Well, they're like starting and stopping, stopping and starting, and deciding, do we really want to do this? Or are we just going to let the Germans do this? Okay. Better medicine here. Okay, general plastics. This is very important for World War II. And we also have Russian production factors plus 5%. Well, as we're trying to build up this stockpile, let's do that. Thought we decided not to do that. Oh, good. The Emil. The classic. But I am seeing that we might be able to cut Spain in two here again. So let's head out over this way. Oh my God. What? What have I just seen here? Can you imagine this? Hey, Admiral Teague, my friend, how you doing? That was a fun show last night. Admiral Teague, here is a good friend. He is fighting to save Star Trek. He is a modern Don Quixote, tilting at windmills. He who fights the lost cause, gains the most honor. He is trying. But we actually have here, which is rare for the AI, to have a mountain division in the mountains here. And so that is a rare thing. Yes, I do have a passant shot for lost causes. Absolutely. And he does fight for them. I mean, it is a great cause. The the classic Star Treks, even the Star Trek of Next Generation and whatnot are all worth saving, but it does, it's a valiant effort, and I do applaud it, but it is, I do believe, hopeless. Okay, let's see. We want to do. Yeah, let's come over here and get the classic HE111. So anyone around who hasn't, follow his channel over on YouTube. It is great. Yeah, no Kelvin movie. That's a win. I did watch part of. I don't remember how many episodes of the Picard series, the first one. I did not finish it. I have not seen any of the additional ones, and that is the only Star Trek I have watched since Enterprise or whatever. I did not watch any of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. I did not watch any of the any of the other new series, Lower Decks. I know that's the animated one. Any of these other stuff. I have just not polluted myself with any. I mean, it was at least 4 episodes. I'm pretty sure I watched, but I checked out after a while. I had such high hopes for that series. Yes. Oh, I do understand, Admiral Teague. Yes. Decker. Yep. And going after that. It's just not. No, Arno, I watched a few episodes of it. And I will say I probably watched the first 2 or 3 just watching them, and then I probably watched the next 2 or 3. I don't remember the exact number. Fast forwarding through them, So I wasn't even like spending the whole episode. I was like, sort of, what's going on? Fast forwarding bit, and so even that, and I, because that's what I did for the last season of Game of Thrones. I just found, I'd sort of like, oh, what's this? Okay, now then the next scene, fast forward. And I don't really consider that properly watching an episode of something. That just sort of like checking in on it to see what's going on. And so I might have, because I don't remember how many episodes, I might have gotten through more than half of season 1 of Picard, with the fast forwarding. But, if you're fast forwarding something, you're not liking it, so no, Arno, no, I just, no. don't like the stuff around episode 3. The logic of Picard showed implodes, and it's the whole Romulans controlling the Borg cube and the Borg on that stuff, and oh man, I just and it's just I don't know. I've checked out. I'm waiting for the bad taste to get out of my mouth, and because listening to Admiral Teague's show last night, and going on was good. It does sort of want to make me go back and watch Wrath of Khan and some of the other stuff, but I'm just sort of letting all of that, mindset filter out of me before I go back, and I don't know when I can go back and watch The Next Generation. Because I really liked, and they were commenting on the Enterprise and the whole Zinti stuff as being a reaction to 9/11. I really liked the idea that Enterprise really became a story arc show, as well as DS9. Because it was a year or two ago, but I did go through and watch DS9 again. I forget how long ago, and just go through and watch the whole thing again, and really liked that. I really like that stuff. So it's not that I hate Star Trek or I'm never going back to it. I hate the new stuff, but that's what I want to preserve, not the stuff. The DNA scanner recreates the past like a VCR has some, Don't see the latest cut of They Messed Up the Beginning. Yeah, I mean, it sort of starts out weak, but I like how and it doesn't maybe entirely fit with some of the canon, but what I wish they would have done, and what might, sometimes writers are just hacks and lazy. Sometimes writers are deep thinkers. And it can't even be the same individual, just needs to bash out a show. So they bash out a show, and then they're sort of working on their story arc. There was that whole Time War story arc that never gets completed in Enterprise, even though they more or less complete the whole Zinti story arc, that you can explain away some of the inconsistencies in Enterprise versus series versus the original series, and some of the stuff is simply being the Time War, that you're looking at it at a particular moment during the Time War, that once that is sort of wrapped up, it'll go back to the standard canon, if you will. And we all hate, no one will know who Mikey Spock is in 3 years. Yeah. James, yeah. Well, James, I'm very happy that Shatner has had nothing to do with this new Star Trek. Not even any promotional stuff. He is just, as far as I know, he has had nothing to do with the whole secret hideout stuff. The Temporal Cold War arc, I got shortcut through in one episode that wrapped it up. Yeah, and it just didn't do justice to it. But yeah, that's where I think Enterprise is sort of saved any, if you look at any sort of inconsistencies with that and the traditional canon. I'm good with realizing that may not all be. Okay, we're going to form this unit here. We're going to form that unit there. We're going to leave these for a moment while we're building up more reserves of equipment. So if you're interested in Star Trek, either bashing the new stuff or talking about the great old stuff, check out Admiral Teague's channel. It is worth, well, whether you want to call it watching or listening. I mean, he does periodically put up a nice, image here and there, but you can just turn it on and listen to it while you're working on other things. I was doing that a bit last night. Shatner publicly called in no kind of Star Trek. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen Shatner in person at a couple of Trek conventions. Not like talk to him or anything, and just up on stage. In person is all I've ever seen Shatner. Saw Leonard Nimoy. He did his whole, Vulcan sort of Vulcan salute thing, and told way back then. This is back like in the late '80s is when I saw these. Or early '90s, way back. And some of the other cast and crew were at different ones. I didn't go to a lot, probably 4 Trek conventions over my lifetime. I'm not quite sure. But based in the LA area, a lot of the main, cast show up for that. Go with the newer fighters for sure. Taking the production hit. Yeah, Voyager, that is a series where I checked out after a while. I did. Maybe I should go back and rewatch it. I saw the first few series of it, not episodes, but series. Okay, you need to come back in here and get down into these hills instead of hanging out in the mountains. So Shatner post screenings of Wrath of Khan. Oh, yeah. No, Wrath of Khan, he did great work there. I mean, that's just an excellent movie by any standards, Wrath of Khan. Recon equipment. Okay, how are we doing for trains and things? Let's see, where is that up here? Here, okay. Yeah, this is not trains. This is transport, logistical. Here we are. Okay, we currently need 131 trains. We haven't stockpiled 174. Now, we may capture more in taking Czechoslovakia and Poland and France, but probably, not enough to rely upon. So we're going to add another train here. Production line. Yeah, I did see some 7 of 9 episodes. I remember just vaguely. I think towards the end was the Amelia Earhart episode where the humans had been taken away as prisoners on some distant planet way back when in the 30s. That was, I think, towards the end where I checked out on it. I just lost interest. If I remember correctly, Babylon 5 was still going and DS9 were still going. If I remember correctly back then, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. It just, I don't know. It didn't feel like Star Trek to me. Infrastructure works. Okay, that will make us, or allow us to build railways faster. Fence works, and forts. Yeah, we'll do that. The 33s, it's some reason, it's in season 2. Okay, that's, I guess, when I I think they lost a lot of time trying to Fox, Crest, and Neelix. Then they give up, and the show improves. Oh well, maybe it improves, and I just missed the improvements. That could be the something worth going back and rewatching sometime. Okay, 16 days. We will do the first Vienna Awards, and we'll come back and too risky. We're stopping that. Crushing this pocket of communists. Okay. You can figure out what the Spanish are trying to do. I know I want a Nobel Prize for 1938. Okay. What I want to do is cut off this sort of Madrid pocket. So what I think, since there's just 2 Spanish, a mountain unit and some other unit there. I call them units because I don't know if they're really equivalent of brigades or divisions or. They're trying to push back out of Madrid. That's mountainous. That's plains. So we're going to attack in the plains with our tanks, because they will do better there to try to stop reinforcements moving there. We're crushing this pocket. They're down to 1 whatever. Brigade Internationalist. Yeah, that. Okay, so armor techs. Okay, we're doing gas engines, so we don't need to do the diesel. Improved tank armor, we'll do that. Okay, we're going to move you guys that way. Food tank designs. Okay. A little more peaceful, I think. Okay. Okay, this is 3839. Improved catalytic cracking. Oil extraction factor 8%. New steel mill designs. Steel mill upgrade plants. You can do 1 of 2. Construction speed faster. Okay. Okay, this allows us to build steel refineries faster by 15%. This increases output at current factories by 2. New steel mill designs, steel mill upgrade plans. Okay, what this is sort of coming down to, one of my friends recently educated me to, what is it? Intensive development versus extensive development. Extensive development would be, say, like, oh, you have a steel mill. Let's build a in essence, another one right next to it of the same quality. Okay, so you're just building more of the same. Intensive development is, say, like modernizing a steel mill, making it produce steel more efficiently. So intensive versus extensive. Extensive is, I think I have it right, is doing more into. I may have that reverse. Sorry, but I think we're going to do this. We're going to improve. So our current steel mills are all going to produce more steel. And so even though we may build more, which we plan on it, but they will do more production as simply having more steel mills, having better steel mills. Okay, no, I don't want to mess with Cuba. First Vienna Awards, good. That will help us with Hungary. We're going to come back over here, and we're going to do the synthetic rubber refinery here. Push down some of that path. That's very useful once we'll get cut off and need more and more rubber. See, now rubber is a massive point of failure for World War II. And so with the first Vienna Awards, again, I hate the state mechanic for this. It is just bad, bad, bad. I wish they'd never even thought of it. Part of if you can see, these states here, you click on it, says states, is how many factories are allowed in the state here. This obviously can have a lot of that. As a way, originally, now that they've added power plants in, as a way of limiting the amount of factories you can put in an area. Okay, well, just if that's your main sort of thing, I mean, it's more than just that, but it's mostly that. You have some of these stupid states that look like this that have no purpose. But this is, so first you have the Munich Conference, which gives this territory to Germany, this Czechoslovak territory to Germany. Then Hungary, and because at the end of World War I, along this borderline, because of the old Austro-Hungarian border, there isn't a, clear, this is Slovak territory and this is, Hungarian-speaking territory. It's a border area. There are towns that have, some of the towns here may be a majority Czech, but minority Hungarian and vice versa, but enough that combination of being on the losing side of World War I, Hungary was, and just trying to create a Czechoslovakia that was tenable. They gave a lot of territory over that Hungary claimed back, and they were getting ready to invade. So Germany negotiates between Czechoslovakia and Hungary. There's actually a few days of fighting, 2 or 3 days of fighting. Very, very few people are hurt at all. It was more of just a skirmish and occupation. So that really starts to move Hungary into the German army. Because you have to understand here, just a second. This game, Hearts of Iron, starts in 1936. And that's a great, great year to start it for many reasons. And I'm not going to go into all of them. But basically in January 1936, Mussolini organizes up what is called the Tripartite Pact. That's the later one, the Axis, or the post-Axis with Japan. The Three Powers Pact. Sorry, because they didn't. The Tripartite Pact sounds cooler, but Mussolini comes up with the Three Powers Pact, and it's headed up by Italy. It is an anti-German, anti-Nazi pact. Hitler had visited Italy and Mussolini prior to 1936 once. The visit didn't go well. Mussolini is hearing Hitler's rhetoric about Greater Germany and reuniting Germany. And Mussolini is from sort of this part of Italy. And he knows that this here used to be Austria. And this here used to be Austria. So here and probably something, just that little province here, used to be part of Austria-Hungary. Well, he doesn't want to lose Trieste, a major city. He does not want to lose this, at least at the 1930s, a majority German-speaking region, as far as I know. Why not? Oh, I'll get to that. Okay, I'll get to that in a moment. That's not a bad question. But so he doesn't want to lose these territories. He feels endangered. So fascism, and again, we won't go into it now, but fascism and National Socialism are different ideologies, and not just added racism on the German part, and not, not, and part of it is all of this, but part of it is National Socialism's anti-Christian aspect that is not in fascism. Fascism does not try to explain. Fascism is a political economic philosophy, not a religious type or origins of humanity type philosophy that not National Socialism definitely has in it. National Socialism is much more of a religious, political mixed philosophy. Lots can be said on that topic, but they're both totalitarian ideologies, though. And they're both revolutionary. Now, maybe, this I've sort of vacillated whether fascism and National Socialism are right-wing or left-wing, because they're both socialistic. Neither of them are leveling socialists, as in, communism, or more socialism as in trying to make everyone equal, but they're still collective means of production and whatnot. So they're both revolutionary. Neither of them are traditionalist parties. Both of them allow aristocracies to either formally or informally, in Germany's case, informally, meaning they no longer have you no longer have power because you're a count or a duke or something like that. But in Italy, it is still a monarchy. There is still, the traditional aristocracy still continues under the fascist state. But both ideologies are tolerant of the aristocrats that are in their midst, unlike communism, which are killing them. So the ideologies are not leveling, not trying to make everyone equal, but they're still collective. So there is a certain point of similarity between the two ideologies, but that isn't important to Mussolini. Mussolini is worried about German expansion. There is, and I'm still vacillating on whether the Fatherland Front or the Winterland Front is what it was called in German, which in 1933 the head of Austria is assassinated by an Austrian National Socialist. So the National Socialists for some years are banned in Austria. So it is either a fascist or a nationalist party, and I'm not sure, that is controlling Austria. Hungary is a monarchy without a monarch. The monarch is living in Paris and is not allowed to return. It is run by Horthy, an admiral without a navy or a sea. And it is being run in a nationalistic, not a fascistic, in a nationalistic term, as I would say. And more of a tradition. And I say not, because, you can put istic on it, so it's not necessarily fascism or nationalism or communism. It just has aspects of it. My understanding, because there are the Arrow Cross and whatnot, fascist parties within Hungary, but really Horthy is running it as a more traditional nationalist type state, not as a fascist type state. Well, they're all worried about German expansion. So Mussolini gets his anti-Hitler pact, the three powers pact with Austria, Hungary, and Italy, which, of course, Austria and Hungary are at war with Italy in World War I. Now, leading up to, there's a whole charm offensive that goes on that Hitler does to allow Germany to take over Austria, and he's reassuring Mussolini that they're not going to make claims on the German lands that are currently Italian controlled. So the Three Powers Pact falls apart, obviously, when Germany invades. There's no fighting, but it is a military invasion, invades Austria. Now, this is concerning to Hungary. And again, Hitler goes on a charm offensive, invites Horthy to come up and review the German fleet and whatnot, so he can wear his admiral's uniform around a navy and all this kind of stuff. And starts to, hey, yeah, Austria, you lost, territories along, here and along other border regions here against this. Sometimes you will find states that are really small here that, are just this little thing. This is why I hate this, the state mechanic in just one provinces. Hey, you've lost that territory. Hey, you've lost sort of this territory here, and hey, you've sort of lost some territory around here. Don't you want it back? Be our buddies, and we'll help you get it back. So that is how Germany is, first getting Mussolini and forming the Pact of Steel, doing also, which we haven't hit, the Anti-Comintern Pact, is, hey, we've got to stop these Bolsheviks. And whatnot, the joint fighting in Spain is helping with Italy. And so here you have, we'll get you some of your significant elements of your lost territory back if you join an alliance. Okay, quickly, why not 33? Hitler's not in charge in 1933. That'd be the simplest answer. Why not 33? In January 1933, Hitler becomes chancellor. To my knowledge, and I don't remember, I studied this in university, but I don't remember. I don't believe the National Socialists got the majority of the seats in the what is it? Was it the Reichstag or whatever? Well, it wasn't Reichstag, the Bundestag or whatever in Parliament. But they had the biggest number. They had the plurality, not the majority, meaning they were the largest party sitting in Parliament at the time. Previously to this, because Goering was rather a popular figure, being the last commander of the Flying Circus, Richthofen's old squadron, winner of the Blue Max. So he was personally rather popular, and also not a classic aristocrat at all, but not some son of some Austrian postman's son from Austria. That's Hitler. He was, coming from a middle class background, definitely sort of a pusher up. Hey, Ellen Devout, how you doing? And so we're playing with Black Ice, yes. So Goering is rather publicly popular. So he is already Speaker of the Parliament. Was it Bundestag, Reichstag fire. Maybe it's still called the Reichstag. I don't know. Sorry, I'm blanking on that. I get some of these details wrong. If you want to know the true and correct history, go read a book. I'm just talking about it. And so the nationalists, and there's several nationalist parties, but the nationalists, non-national socialist nationalists, don't do particularly well in the election, particularly because a lot of their voter goes over to the National Socialists. They had, with a coalition, had been the leading party in Parliament, or with the coalition, and the head of the Nationalist Party is Hindenburg, who is president of Germany. and rather popular, even popular with a lot of the sort of centrist types as people, and that he's there, he's a popular figure, he's sort of giving stability for Germany, because even if you're a slight socialist type, you don't maybe quite want the communists to take over, you quite don't want you know these Nazis to take over, so you vote for him, Hindenburg, and Hitler lost the election um, that was earlier to Hindenburg. And oh boy, picturing his face. Um, Franz von Papen, who had been chancellor, I don't know if immediately or just the previous chancellor before that, but he had previously been chancellor of Germany, goes to Hindenburg and says, look, we cannot continue to run a government. Let's do a coalition government with these Nazi guys. If you come out and support it, we'll do this. I'll go talk to Hitler. I'll be vice chancellor. Vice chancellor is not like in the U.S. where you have, now the building is called the Reichstag. Okay, Reichstag, but yeah, so was it Reichstag at the time? Yeah, okay, so the Reichstag. So, because, well, most of the photos you see with Hitler and that's like some opera house or something that they use because the Reichstag is burnt down. But yeah, get back up to the story, gamer. So there mostly during the Weimar years and whatnot, and even before that, there mostly is not a vice chancellor, though sometimes there is. It's not like a normal sort of office that's always there under the Constitution. So he goes and goes, hey, we're going to have I'll go and I'll negotiate with this Hitler guy. So they go in and negotiate. It's a mixed cabinet. It's some of the nationalists and some of the Nazis. It's Hitler and he sort of says, well, hey, Hitler's just going to be sort of a figurehead with you as president, which is somewhere between it's not entirely figurehead because the president under the Weimar government, the president is in charge of the military, not the chancellor, not the government. The military is sort of separate. So the president has a lot more powers than the current sort of president of Germany, which is just a sort of figurehead office with the chancellor or prime minister, whatever you want to call him, being the actual power center in modern Germany. It was sort of somewhat mixed. So, and so with you as president, me as vice chancellor, we'll control these Nazis, we'll take advantage of their support, and we'll keep going, and keep in power. So Hitler is not in charge in 1933. Hitler is not even fully in charge of the National Socialist Party because he has Ernst Röhm that is killed off in 1934, if I get the year right. People, I love history. I'm bad at dates and whatnot. I'm good at orders of events. And that it's a combination of, Ernst Röhm is whether Ernst Röhm feels himself as a successor or possible replacement for Hitler, that's debatable, what he might have thought of himself. But we definitely know from enough records and enough people talking that Ernst Röhm is an anti-Prussian, okay? He is a Bavarian. He is an anti-Prussian. He feels very much through his military experience. He was kept back, held down, because he wasn't a Prussian. Whether that's true, whether it's the Prussian elites that were definitely, as a fact, we can look at most of the the high command of the World War I Reichskrieg, the German army then was definitely Prussian dominated, though Bavaria did have its own sort of large army, and another famous Bavarian army officer, of course, was Erwin Rommel. He was part of the Bavarian army, not part of the Prussian army, and definitely going into and throughout World War I, there was definitely the idea of a Prussian army, a Bavarian army, and a couple of other sort of smaller armies. Not every single little state had its own army, but the Bavarian army was its own separate establishment, meaning for the most part, unless you're going to the general staff, unless you're going to, Corps Command or whatever, Bavarian officers and Bavarian soldiers only served in Bavarian units. You weren't going to be sent off to, a Bavarian officer, at least as far as my understanding. You weren't going to be sent off to some Prussian cavalry, even if you're a Bavarian cavalry officer, you're not going to be, swapped out units to some other place. It's sort of its own establishment within the system. So for some of that reasons, for some of Ernst Röhm's is much more of the leveling socialist type within the National Socialist Party, meaning more left-wing. Now, Goebbels is also sort of that, but Goebbels pretty quickly attaches himself to Hitler and stays there. But whether it's, some of the more, get rid of the old aristocracy, get rid of the plutocrats, people who rule with money. Again, it's probably with Ernst Röhm, and I'm not super familiar with the details of his personal ideology, but I don't think it's like to the communist level that everyone's going to make the same income or anything like that. But get rid of the quote unquote plutocrats, get rid of the old aristocrats, clean house kind of thing. Much more so, much more fast than Hitler wants to do. So he's upsetting in that way, and he also wants to have the SA replace or merge with, but with him in charge, the army. Because remember, guys, there is the standard sort of SA, in 1933, 1934. There is the Ritter SA, which means riding SA, which are the cavalry SA. And there's also the Marine SA, that were mostly set up all along the Gauss, along the coast. But I do know that there were Marine units that were like along the Rhine River and whatnot. And they build, now I have a photo used in my mod, a Third Reich event, of a mock-up of a sailing ship. And that's just like sort of mocked up along the edge of the river there, built in there, that has the full rigging of a sailing ship. So that people inland could, not of a river barge, but of they're still in those days training for sail. So that you could train, people to go climb up the masts and set the sails, and this, mock-up of a ship sitting next to the river kind of thing, and it didn't have the bottom hole, but had the sort of the top part of the deck of a ship, the training ship, to train sailors. And so the SA might have even been seeing his SA as taking over the Navy as well. And this is upsetting the Navy and upsetting the Army. So in 1934, you kill Rome to please and get rid of some of his supporters to please the Army. And then you have, later in 1934, you have President Hindenburg dying, and only then do you have Hitler merging the offices of Chancellor and President, removing the office of Vice Chancellor, and even then, Hitler still isn't in charge. It really isn't until 1936 that you're reintroducing conscription. I believe it's coming in 1936, or maybe it's 1937, but it's right around there. I think it's 1937. You see taking back the Saarland is not a military action in 1935. The Saarland had still been up until 1935, still had been under French occupation, and that sort of means that, profits / taxes / whatever you want to call it, from the industry in the Saarland were going to France. And possibly a lot of resources, the steel that they make was just being sent to France. It's only in 1936, and again in like February or January or whatever of 1936, that you have the military occupation of the Rhineland. And you have also, really starting in 1936, is where well, how you want to call it, the Hitler, the Nazis, the military complex, only then becomes really the military industrial complex. It's only really in 1936 that you really start to see build up of military resources, building up of the army, building up, starting in, I think it's late 36 or is it 37, is where when they officially announce the Luftwaffe exists. It had existed, and they were flying aircraft before, but under sort of other sort of names, um, hiding its official existence. I mean, anybody who was, observers, military observers, spies, whatever, knew it was existing, but it wasn't officially announced. You don't have, that isn't going on there. So as a player of a game, if you were starting before then and starting to do all this military buildup, they weren't doing any of that military buildup before 1936. Oh, sure, they were testing a few tanks here and there. Oh, they were testing a few planes here and there. Sure, there was one factory and one factory only manufacturing, and that's the Simpson and Sons, manufacturing rifles and light machine guns for the army, and they weren't even supposed to be making artillery until whatever. And so you're supposed to be using. So again, why do most of these? No, let's come over to production here. Let's come here. Let's show outdated equipment. Why is this the Mauser 18? Why is this the Flak 18? See, some more of the outdated. Okay, these are 1916 dates and maybe older stuff. Why are they 18? Because if you look at the, we can see, where is it here? The Lish Infantry Geschütz 18. Why 18? Well, it was all sort of part of the scheme to, I mean, it wasn't fooling anybody, but to sort of officially fool the observers of the Versailles Treaty and whatnot. Oh, these are just designs that we had secretly made in 1918, getting ready for World War I. Oh yeah, so that's why a lot of stuff have the 1918 dates on it. So it's not really to where you are sort of really able to do military buildup, both in numbers of units, starting to build the West Wall once you occupy it. Yeah, there had been some pre-existing fortifications that were post-World War I, particularly in the East, because they were actually a little, I don't know that they were more, obviously the Rhineland was occupied by the Western Allies, particularly France, for quite a long time. It was a little more, I think, a fear that they thought they could maybe handle or deal with in the East here. So they were building up some fortifications in the early 30s, even before Hitler comes to power in the East. But it's really, a lot of stuff that a player can really misskew the game, misskew history if you start before 36. So I know I wasn't going into it, but Arno poked, so Arno got his thing. So 36 is the great date to start the game. From a realistic aspect that you're dealing with the build-up before the war, because either you should start and allow the nations to make reasonable decisions based upon their political realities. Yes, we know you're evil. Political realities, or you should just simply start like in the day the war starts, start with the equipment and the setup that they do then. I like what they do because there's a lot of what ifs that can be done. Okay, well, we're getting up to radios, up to almost 90% of the radios we need for infantry units. So we're getting more, but we need for support battalions, we're only at 72. But if we use one of these, we'll empty that out. We need only, okay. Well, we might as well give these there. Okay. Special Forces. It's Pride Mountain Troops, but okay, so we're doing some of that. Well, I think we're going to end the episode here with all of that talk. I know we haven't gotten very far. As I said before, I'm going to make the video that talks about how to make a stable version that won't get effed up by the new. Hey, Michael, Fox is here. Very good. Merry Christmas, yes, and a Happy New Year to everybody. So I think we're gonna end this now. I'm really enjoying talking to everybody, but I do have things I need to do today. So we'll be getting back to more normal stuff hopefully in the next few weeks here. I'm still building, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to be staying in my secret mountain base. But more videos will come as time goes on. So everyone, thank you, Ellen Devout. Thank you. I know you just showed up, Michael Fox, and we're getting ready to close out. Admiral Teague, if you're still around, thanks so much. Who else has been here? Of course, Arno. If Greg is still over on Twitter, thanks for hanging out with me, and Hoffmanator, and I know Singh has left. John, thank you for being here. Thanks, everybody. Really enjoy hanging out with everybody. War Thunder should be tomorrow. Yes, Arno. At the usual time, we should be doing some War Thunder. So if you want to either watch or play with us, do come and check out. Check us out tomorrow. So, and it won't be until the 8th of January, and I forget what I'm streaming for Slytherin, but we'll be doing that a bit later. So thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow, I hope. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, I hope you play.